I am living in Taiwan because I found my biological mom. It is 6 a.m. in the morning and I am on my way to my mom's work because she forgot her phone at home. And since this is gonna be a really busy week for me, I'm going to a book festival and everything later this week, I figured why not start off my YouTube vlog with a day in the life of an adoptee in reunion. So I only noticed that my mom left her phone at home because the alarm kept on going off. It's been really hard to figure out how to live together with someone as two adults, but you know, I'm more grateful to even have this opportunity than not at all. I'm on the scooter now. My mom just called me from her tablet to be like, hey, can you bring my phone? And I was like, girl, I got you. I'm already on my way. I'm back, mission accomplished. My mom got her phone and now I guess it's time to start my day. So this is my living situation. I'm living in a loft on top of my mom's bed area, and I am sleeping on the floor. This is my tatami situation. If you sleep on the floor every morning, you have to pick everything up or else it gets moldy. So this is my morning routine of getting ready for school. It's actually been really difficult to learn Mandarin. I used to think that, you know, like if you watch Harry Potter, he's an adopted orphan, right? And then like when he finally finds out that he's actually a wizard and he goes into this wizarding world and everything seems to fall into place for him, I thought that that was what was going to happen for me when I went to Taiwan. Truth is, I'm dealing with the fact that no matter what, I did lose out on being able to grow up speaking my language. Loss is loss, gone is gone, and there is nothing I can do to rewind time. It's really hard to have these conversations with kept people because they have good intentions and they want to like take away all the pain that I'm feeling and everything. But like in order to love me, you have to see me for me. This is one of my biggest wounds. This is something that affects me every day of my life in every single relationship, co-workers, platonic relationships, romantic relationships. Who I am as a person has been shaped by the losses I have had to heal around. And I never grew up being told that I was allowed to feel these things. I was only told that I could be grateful and I could be lucky and I could be happy, and I was a bad person if I was anything other than that. But I want to hold space for other adoptees and their pain, their loss, their wounds, because they are just as valid. All of the heartache is just as valid as all of the joy. Okay, I am downstairs from my loft and it is now time to get ready for school. I usually do my makeup because when I feel like my best, I perform my best. But I low-key have beef with every single student in my Mandarin class because they are a billion times smarter than me. Hashtag dyslexia. You know what's weird is like as an adoptee, I didn't realize I had dyslexia, and it's a whack-ass form of dyslexia where when I read books, I hear music. It's always been an issue, and I thought that like it was normal until I realized it's not. And then when I found my biological mom, I was like, hey mom, do you have dyslexia? Like, can you, when you read books, can you hear music? Girl, my jaw was on the floor because she was like, yeah, I used to hear people like talking to me when I was doing my homework. Cause like when I read books, I like legit hear people singing. Sometimes when I read books, I'll hear like ragtime. I'll hear like a whole ass orchestra. I'll hear like pop music. It just depends on the fucking day, I guess. I don't know. But like I'm dead ass the only person I know who has this like whack ass condition, except for my literal fucking mother. This is why I'm making this content, because this is the actual lived experience of an adoptee who grew up not knowing vital things about herself. I have so many adoptee friends who will never have the experience that I'm having right now. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair because they deserve to know. The thing is, as an adoptee, we don't have access to that. We don't even have access to our original birth certificates. You probably don't know this, but like every adoptee has a fake birth certificate where it lists their adopter as their biological parent. That's a lie. But this is the reality of what it's like to be an adoptee. Like, you just don't know things about yourself that other people get to take for granted. Anywho, end rant. This is my everyday makeup look. My bangs are kind of in that weird phase where it's like just a little bit too long. But it is 7:30. Usually I'm still kind of like bed rotting or I'm on the phone with my spouse in the mornings. But since I had to get up early for my mom, I'm thinking maybe I will grab some coffee. So because I was a later in life adoptee, I still remember a lot of things about living in Taiwan. One of them being like how green everything is. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but Taiwan just has a very specific shade of green. You see it a lot more prevalently in the summertime, but when I finally got to come back to Taiwan and meet my mom back in 2024, I remember driving around town and just being like, or not driving around town, but like driving around the countryside and being like, that shade of green. I still dreamt about that shade of green, even though I had consciously forgotten about Taiwan. In fact, I used to dream about like wandering around a city, and then when I would wake up, I would like start crying, and I would be like, I want to go back to that city. I want to fall asleep again. I want to have that dream again. I want to go back to wherever that was. And then when I came to Taiwan, I was like, oh my God, this is that city. This is the city I dreamt about. Even though I had like consciously forgotten about Taiwan, a part of me still remembered and still longed to be back. So yeah, I mean, sure, an adoptee can be grateful. Sure, an adoptee can like be loved despite the fact that we have experienced so much loss, but love will never be able to fix that wound. You cannot love someone's culture back into them. You cannot love someone's language back into them. You cannot love their birth records, their health history back into them. And I think that's a really hard pill for a lot of like adoptive parents to swallow, because like they love their kids so much, and but they have to reconcile with the fact that like because of their adoption they did cause harm, and you can mediate that harm by being aware of just how deep that trauma goes. Oh my God, I gotta run across the street. 早安。我想买这杯咖啡，冰的和外带。I just got my mocha. How可愛! There's like a little swirl of chocolate syrup on top of the whipped cream. That is one thing I do love about Taiwan, is how fucking cute everything is. Oh my God, I'm already late for school, and I'm not going to film myself driving to school because I'm late and I need to be locked in. And since I'm my mom's caretaker, like I have to be in like ship shape, because my mom is really disabled and I feel like I've kind of taken on this caretaker role for her. So if anything happens to me, it means jeopardizing her care. You know, for instance, like she forgot her phone at home this morning, and I can't afford for her to continue to have you know, incidences like that where like I'm not available to help her. And like me being able to take care of her has been like an absolute joy, and but also like a strange dynamic, because like my mom didn't get a chance to care for me, but and now here I am, her daughter, caring for her. So anyway, on my way to school. I parked all the way by the gym today, which means that I have to walk to the other side of the campus to get to my classroom. Fortunately for me, they don't usually do attendance until like 10 minutes after the bell. That is my building. My class is all the way up on the 9th floor. So this is the view from the 9th floor. 风景很漂亮. And I like to come out here when we take breaks. So the way that school works is that it's for 3 hours long, and every hour on the hour we get a 10-minute break. So this is my 10-minute break, and since this is my first time vlogging like this, I low-key am realizing that like I don't know if I'm gonna be a good vlogger, because I don't like to have other people in my videos. And I think that this is like an adoptee thing. The reason why I don't like having other people in my videos is because as an adoptee, I see a lot of like momfluencers and like content creators putting literal adopted children online for financial benefits, and it pisses me the fuck off, not gonna lie, because it's very exploitive. Kids can't consent to their adoption. They can't consent to being part of a momfluencer community or like a family vlogging community, and the thing that like makes it extra insidious is the fact that like influencers are literally buying children, putting them on camera, because content with adoptees goes a lot more viral than content without adoptees, because everybody thinks like, oh, you're such a good person for adopting these people. Yeah, that's not true, especially if you're just monetizing. If you're adopting for the purpose of monetization, that's pretty fucked up actually. So yeah, I don't know, it just made me realize like, maybe vlogging might be kind of difficult for me to do. So I'll have to find ways to vlog around other people. So here I go vlogging around other people. Usually after class I go get lunch. I went to this Vietnamese place. The thing is that I grew up always wondering what Taiwanese food, and then I figured it out and I was like, I actually don't really like Taiwanese food, but I do love Vietnamese food. But it's kind of strange because in a way it kind of does make me feel like I'm betraying my own culture. But anyway, usually that's the most of my day, and then I'll go home and I'll study a little bit, and then sometimes I do errands, sometimes I take out the trash. But yeah, my day's pretty simple. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for following along on my journey. This is just one day in the life of. I will definitely be doing more because I ended up having to cut out like a lot of things that I said. So if you want to hear more adoptee opinions, like definitely follow along, or you can help an author out, and you should check out my books. This is the Morris Award finalist for 2026, First Love Language. The new official cover with this super cool medal looks like this. Dude, I did not, like, wow. Dude, I found out that I was a Morris Award finalist back in like December. It's February and I'm still just like, holy fuck, I'm a Morris Award finalist author. Anyway, and then this is my sophomore novel, Love Makes Mochi. Completely different because this is IP. So like I was hired to write this one. I was paid. I was like, my original idea was purchased here, and then someone else was like, you know what, I like your writing, you should write more books. So read this if you are the kind of reader who loves big feels. This is about a Taiwanese adoptee who fake dates her Mandarin tutor by going on dates inspired by the love languages, but it's set in ultra-conservative Utah with a lot of gay Mormons, because, you know, my people. And then this is like a wanderlust, just sapphic romance. They're both lesbians, let's fucking go. And it's like opposites attract, where the main character is like this grungy goth girl and the love interest is a rainbows and sunshines kind of tattoo artist. So black and goth and rainbows. So yes, super fun. This is more of like I would read this if you want to have big feelings. Read this if you want to escape. So completely different books, like, or read them both and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you so much for following along. All right, toodles. I don't know. Honestly, okay, since coming back to Taiwan, I really like this. So, toodles!